very quickly, the program itself happens next week. It's a 5-session program on the weekend, so anybody could join. And the program fees are to the right of your screen. There is an early bird which goes on until almost the last day. The link is in the chat window already, and we will put the link again at the end of the program. And after today's preview, over to you, Kshama.
Yes, good morning. I am the Managing Director of Academy of Human Excellence, and it's my pleasure to begin this program for all of you. Few quick hygiene issues regarding a program like this, online program. All questions and comments, please reserve them for the end. If you feel you might forget it, just type in the chat box and read them later. Keep your videos off in case you have bandwidth issues. If you wish, at least when you ask questions, it would be nice if people can see your face. Log in from one device only. Don't do it from the phone and your other PDAs, because you will have a screeching disturbance and that disturbs the entire class. And keep yourself muted throughout the duration of the class, please. Thank you so much. Next, please. Yeah, so quick introduction for those who do not know about Academy of Human Excellence. It is a 45-year-old institution. We have trained almost 1,15,000 participants in this time frame. We have 125 plus clients across 3-4 countries. We have offices in India, in Bangalore, Baroda, and Mumbai, in Mexico, in Leon, in the USA, in Austin, and we have trained 1,500 trainers in our Train the Trainer program. Our core areas during the COVID time as well, and also in general, are work from home, the virtual trainer, which is the program that you're attending right now, of which you're seeing the preview, and learning online and how to make the most of it. Our core programs are in leadership, teamwork, managing change, crisis management, customer service, time management, planning, problem solving, decision making, life skills, and emotional intelligence. While this might all seem like standard programs, you will realize today when you just see the preview that nothing with Parimal is ever standard. It's always, the title may say whatever, but the program itself has a lot more packed into it, and is definitely not the run-of-the-mill program, as you will recognize as we go along. Next, Parimal, please. So we have very esteemed clients. We tend to engage very deeply with clients. So while it might seem like for a 45-year-old institution, we only have 125 clients, it's not that we don't have smaller clients, but we deep dive into very deep engagements with the clients who we work with. So our relationships span almost the same period from the point that we get in. So we are always engaged. Once a customer, always a customer for us. So a very quick introduction on Parimal. For those of you who don't know him, you are meeting an almost legendary person in that he is one of India's senior most trainers. He started Academy of Human Excellence when training was largely unknown as a discipline in India, and has since then continued to enrich the lives of hundreds and hundreds of people He lives, breathes, and thinks training all the time. Um, he is globally known for his oratory skills, remarkable content development capabilities, and also for the in-depth understanding of the human psyche. And he has this uncanny ability to simplify very, very complex matters into words which seem like incredibly impactful. He packs a lot into one sentence, and when you have dealt enough with someone needs to go mute, please. There's a constant background noise.
If you're going to have breakfast, then please ask us to join in or mute your microphone so at least our mouths don't water.
Right. So he has. Someone needs to go mute, please.
I think it's Mandeep. Mandeep, yeah. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Right.
Iman.
So he designs all the programs that we conduct. He is mainly the content repository also for the institution. And he is very often called upon to design content. And you will realize from today's introductory seminar that, it seems simple to make a presentation, but it takes years to hone this art, and certainly to learn from someone who's honed this art to near perfection is actually a privilege, um, as you will realize. So there are presentations and there are presentations, and Parimal's presentations are absolutely enthralling. They invigorate your mind, your intellect, and propel you into action, which is really the purpose of why we make presentations. Let me quickly run by some of the memberships that he has. He is a former chairman of the Baroda chapter for Indian Society of Training and Development, a member of the American Society for Training and Development, All India Management Association member, Institute of Management Consultants of India, he's a member of, Board of Studies of the Faculty of Management, Navrachna University. And he is, since 2011, the Vice President of the International Travel and Hosting Fellowship. He is an avid traveler, photographer, and music lover. And you will see in everything that he does that these deep passions of his make his work extremely vivid and enriching. I could say a lot more, but this man is also a survivor of cancer for four cancers, and multiple, up to 5 corneal transplants and other health abdications. And yet you will see throughout that there is something very incredible in his spirit that smiles through every challenge. And that is what makes him such a fantastic trainer. Over to you, Parimal. Go ahead and enthrall the people as you always do.
Thank you very much, Kshama.
Have a fantastic program.
Thank you very much, Kshama. And as we go, this is just the launch of a series of training programs using digital platforms. And you will have the opportunity also to interact with Kshama in many of the programs that she conducts, and of other trainers as well, whom we will be bringing on. So let me go right into the point, because as usual, I'm short of time and I have much to say. Let me share with you the objectives. You will learn in the training program to present facts and feelings completely, precisely, confidently, and persuasively. So instead of being on the receiving end, it is your audience that we want should enjoy what you are doing, learn from what you are doing, and be persuaded to give you whatever yes decision that you're looking for. You will learn to harness the full power of PowerPoint, use your non-verbal communication to convey much more to the audience and to study audience response. We want you to exploit stage fright and share your knowledge powerfully because of it, not in spite of it. We want you to leverage the power of digital platforms like Zoom to the fullest. There are many pros, although there are cons. What would the course cover during the next weekend? Well, why bother to become a good presenter? And I'm going to talk a lot about it today. The real power of PowerPoint. We don't really know even half the things that it's capable of doing for us. We'll talk about digital platforms because that is where most of the presentations are happening these days. So what are the tips and tricks to make, to take full advantage? I will share a little bit today. What are 11 features of a great presentation? What is audience analysis? And then based on that, how do you set your objectives? What are the different types of presentations and how do you structure them? What to do with beginnings and conclusions? A little bit about it today, but much more about it later. Practice before you preach. And finally, how do you unleash your non-verbal communication and what does it have to do with stage fright? I will begin with a benediction as is the pratha and the riti with all academy training.
जो कभी रोशनी दूर तक न दिखे जिंदगी में कभी जिंदगी कम लगे जो कभी आदमी से डरे आदमी जो दिलों में कभी प्यार की हो कमी भटके ना तेरा इंसान भटके ना तेरा इंसान कोई रास्ता निकाल लेना मालिक संभाल लेना हमको संभाल लेना
God bless the world. God bless our country. God bless India. God bless our organizations, our families, and all of us. God protect us. I will begin with the first poll. The polling is anonymous, and I'll quickly read out the question to you. You can also read it on your screen. Meetings or classes were face-to-face until February 2020. Now they are conducted over digital platforms such as Zoom. What is your opinion about most meetings? And please select all the alternatives that describe your experience the best. So this is a multiple choice questions. It's a multiple choice question with many alternative answers. May I please have your answers quickly to save time? I see that some of you are frank enough to say I switch off the video and do other things. My body is in the meeting, in the class, but my mind is elsewhere. Most meetings or classes are terribly boring and a waste of time. which is really so sad. And then there are as many as over 35% people who say they love meetings, and God bless them. I participate wholeheartedly. That is a good 30%, and that's excellent. The numbers are moving, and in a moment I will be sharing the numbers with you. Okay, 10 more seconds and I'm closing this, and we will see the results.
You have Anthony Vargas from Mexico.
Most welcome, Antonio. Most welcome. We are happy to have you. You are at midnight there, and yet you are here with us. Fantastic. Okay, I will end the polling. Let's see what the results are. And the results say, because this is multiple choice, so the total should not be exactly 100. Most meetings, classes are terribly boring, say 20% of the people. My body is in the meeting, my mind is elsewhere. That's as many as 32% of the people saying this. I switch off the video and do other things. I hope you're not doing it today. And that is 29%. Most presenters cannot present, 22%. I participate wholeheartedly. God bless you guys. 34%. Please, all of you do this today for me. I love meetings and find them really useful, 37%. Interesting. So here it is for you to see for a moment or so. Okay, so I'm going to stop the sharing. Anyway, I read it out to you. And back to the slides. Thank you for participating in the poll, and you can always put your comments in the chat window. We will read them. There's always a first time. How did I become a presenter? Well, I thought that I could speak on stage if I could speak on Mother Earth. My first speech back in 1973 was a complete disaster. But, and the audience booed. Please remember, I was a student, and a student audience is not kind. But I realized that 250 students, 25 teachers, one vice chancellor, one committee of 5 judges, and 10 chaprasis had to listen to me for a good 5 minutes because I did not give up ground. But I know that I don't know what I spoke. I trained myself over a period of 3 years. So much so that the same vice chancellor was presiding. He saw himself giving away the most prestigious trophy of the Maharaja Sayajirao University of Baroda to me. And he asked me to go and meet him. This was towards the end of 75. Asked me, what did you do? I said, remember your first speech? I said, sir, this is how I've trained myself. He says, can you impart this training in 20 days? Because I'm giving you an opportunity. I will pay you to conduct a course. So would you be able to do that? Apologies, my phone decided. Okay, so will you be able to do that? I said, certainly, I'll give it a try. And so on the 1st of January, 76, I started out as a trainer. I'm sharing over a period of time. I have had the opportunity to work with about 10,000 plus participants. And I have an echo coming. I'm just going to come out of this for a second. Okay. And let me share the screen again in a moment. Please bear with me. And let me also, a precaution which I did not take, which is to mute my phone. Here we go. Sarup, welcome. Great to see you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Parimal.
Sharing the screen again, and hopefully the echo will stop. Yes. So the human brain starts working the moment you are born and never stops until you stand up to speak. I've had the privilege of training over 10,000 people to become wonderful speakers and trainers. It's in all of us. It just needs to come out. I met the legendary Saroj Khan at Baroda Airport, and I was asking her, I said, how do you get somebody like Sunil Shetty, who has 2 left feet, to dance? She says, dance is in all of us. My job is to bring it out. And I think I am doing the same. Presentations are in all of us. And my job is to bring it out. Bring them out. Well, there are a few who are born presenters. We polish them. The rest we train. Let me take you quickly to the second poll. And this is kind of seeking your opinion. And we will go through it very quickly. Give me a moment to launch this. Okay, how do I? And I'm now trying to, yes. So this again is, where is my second poll? Pardon me, I'm still learning this, as you can see. And it keeps giving me the same poll.
It's if you go in the arrow, down arrow at the poll about meetings, under polling.
Okay, all right.
Pull that arrow down.
Oh, super, super, super. Partner ho to aisi. Thank you, Kshama. So why I would like to become an effective presenter is what I'm asking you. And there are multiple reasons. Let's do this quickly. I've launched the poll. Could you please give me your responses? Thank you. Well, 15 people have voted so far. The rest of you get into the act. I'm closing this in 30 seconds. Come on, folks. We want to know why you're here. Okay, 10 more seconds. 47 have voted. Come on, I want all 53 in here. 48. Okay, I'm going to end here. And let me share the results with you. So 50% say they'd like to approximately 50% say gain confidence and self-esteem. 55% would like to transfer 100% of the knowledge to the audience, make a positive impression, 53%. So I want to do good, I want to look good, enjoy myself, almost 50%. Get decision makers to give a yes, only a half, okay. Get results for my organization, that's 31%. entertain the audience in a relevant manner, which is what I always try to do. That's 1/3 of the people. Make the content easy and simple to understand. 63%. My God. And nobody wants a promotion. Only 2 out of 49. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you again for taking part in this. And let me carry on with the presentation, and let's see what we are trying to say to you about so why bother to become a good presenter? A good presenter increases audience interest, increases understanding, increases retention, and increases compliance. So if you are a good presenter, chances are pretty good that the audience will do what you are wanting them to do, if they can. The ability to present well is a critical competency for quick career growth. It boosts confidence and self-esteem. Every time you deliver a better presentation, you will feel so good about yourself. I can do it, right? Organizations favor those who can express themselves effectively. A good presenter often looks better than a real performer who cannot present. This is a tragedy. But on the one hand, you have a great performer and you have a mediocre performer who's a great presenter. Who do you think looks better and who do you think progresses? It's not a strategy that I recommend though. Now, why bother? Well, someone has their audio on, my dear friend. Do me a favor, please. Okay. Helps us share our rich knowledge and experience. You see, it's like the valve is closed. I have all this knowledge and experience, but I'm unable to share it because I'm not presenting it too well. And that benefits self, team, customers, organization. It brings out the best. I have seen, give me an audience and I become myself plus. And I will share why with you. I will have to stop sharing and mute this person. Could you please mute yourself, sir? I'll be most grateful. Sanjay ji, please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay. Please
Mr.
do.
Subhajit Mistry, also please mute yourself.
I can raise pertinent issues. I can be assertive because I'm confident that I'll be able to do it in the right way. I can raise problems, bring up solutions, persuade decision makers. Ultimately, we want a yes decision. Have fun. I would learn to enjoy an activity that most people are so scared of. I can build my brand. You know, whenever I stand up, I stand out. I can project a savvy image. So many of us, do want to look good. It matters. We are in organizations, we are with people, and we want to stand out from the crowd. We want our excellence to show. Good presentations do lead to better revenue every time somebody gets up to speak for his organization in front of some audience. Wherever decisions depend on presentations, the outcome will be good. Good presenters secure new and better deals for the company. Meetings are shorter and more effective. Why are meetings so lengthy? Because people speak in such a convoluted way. They present incredible amounts of data which are not required. no sleepy meeting attendees. We saw in the poll that people switch off and do something else. You know, I want to tell you a little bit about Faluda. It is originally a Persian dish, and it's made of rose syrup, vermicelli, sweet basil. Now, this Faluda you feel like having. The one Faluda you don't want to have is Ijjat ka Faluda. Please remember that a gem is only as good as its setting. So the content is very important. But unfortunately, as all of us know, there are highly knowledgeable teachers who unfortunately cannot present their knowledge very well. So the knowledge doesn't work for them. Similarly, the setting can ruin a gem. We don't want that happening. Let me take you to the third poll, and I think this is the last one. And this time I promise I will get it right. So according to you, which of these features makes a presentation effective? Okay, and you get to pick only one. Let's do this quickly, folks. Presenter confidence seems to be winning out. Let me keep quiet. I don't want to influence you guys. Okay, 43 people have participated. Come on. The remaining dozen, go for it. 10 more seconds. 45, 46, very good. 47. Okay, I'm going to end the polling in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's see what are the results. Let me share the results with you. Well, presenter confidence is the hands down winner. That means if I project confidence, at least half the people will find that presentation effective. Nobody for the conclusion, 0%. Interesting. Non-verbal communication is 13%. Okay. Though I must confess that non-verbal communication and presenter confidence are related, and we'll investigate why. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing results. Go back to my presentation. Let me share with you some of the features of great presentations. And what I've done is I've just picked out a few of the important slides of a 300 slide presentation. I'm going to not make all the 300 just now, but as so many of you found, well begun is half done. And depending on the kind of presentation that you have over a dozen ways in which you could begin your presentation. Since I'm into training and I believe that learning and teaching cannot happen without God's blessings, I like to begin with a prayer. But there are many other ways in which you could begin. I'll share them in the program. The second feature is the conclusion. That's what you leave the audience with. Although there were no takers for it in the poll, believe me, last words last. And these are Steve Jobs' last words. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And I think he had every right to say that. What a life. Leave them laughing, leave them crying, leave them with hope, leave them with an action message. But please don't just leave them, don't end abruptly. The third feature is content. I'm a great believer in using your own content. This is a gold mine. It's a gold mine. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Put everything that you want to say. Remember, you are the presenter. So put it down, start with a PowerPoint file. If the audience already knows what you are saying, why are you speaking? Therefore, the content should be unique. The content should not be something which the audience necessarily knows, a majority of the audience. Of course, some people are highly knowledgeable. Gestures, non-verbal communication are critical. According to me, the most powerful gesture is Namaste. It is a greeting, and yet it has a spiritual depth. And I think the whole world is adopting it now. Started by Prince Charles, started meaning he's, I think, the ambassador for it. And words are the language of the head. Gestures are the language of the heart. So many a times the body language says one thing, the words say something else, and most people go by the body language. Attendee involvement, and there are many slides that I have jumped in between, but I'm just giving you a flavor of what's in the program. No one can sleep and be involved in your presentation at the same time. Therefore, even if it is Zoom, please ensure that your attendees are involved. And there are a number of ways in which you can do this. Polls is one, which I'm learning to use more and more. Let me share with you a couple of tips on what I do with PowerPoint. Einstein said, I rarely think in words at all. There is the left brain and the right brain. Most of us know this. Words only appeal to the left brain. Pictures appeal to the right brain. Therefore, if you are only going to have words, you might as well only speak. You're not really unleashing the power of PowerPoint. Because a PowerPoint deck is a way for you to put pictures in. You can show people, don't just tell them. My philosophy with making slides is use the minimum number of words, make it telegraphic. In the olden times, every word used to cost 5 rupees, 10 rupees. So whoever has sent telegrams in the past knows economy of words. Keep the minimum words. You are the person who's filling it out by elaborating on them, expounding on them. So the minimum number of words on each slide. What happens many a times is that, at least it happens in my case, that if I have to present something again 2 or 3 years down the line, I have forgotten certain things because of this business of making things telegraphic. So put things down in the notes. That also is very helpful, because later on you can read the notes and you can remember. So what's the similarity between a presentation and a flight? Would you like to put it in the chat? Can you use the chat function and put your thoughts on what is the similarity between a presentation and a flight? Come on, folks. Kshama, would you read what's in the chat for me?
takeoff, both take on a journey, takeoff and landing are really crucial. Smooth takeoff and landing, timing, getting off, uh, getting off to a good start takes you to the airport. Safe takeoff and landing must run smoothly. Take care while taking off and landing like the last words.
Phenomenal, because takeoffs and landings are the most risky. It's the same with beginnings and conclusions. There is a school or thought that believes that if you don't catch them in the first 30 seconds, you lost them. So beginnings and conclusions are critical. Talk quickly about time management, at which I'm very bad. I'm notorious for exceeding my time limit, and I don't want to do it today. But Winston Churchill said that a presentation or a speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the topic and yet short enough to be interesting. One hint I want to give you as far as humor goes, that something funny that you might say about women works very well when the audience is mostly of men. Very risky if the audience consists mostly of women. Please don't do it. And that is where then if you tell a funny story about a husband or a man, that will go down very well with an audience of women. All-time favorites for making, favorite subjects for jokes in any audience are finance people, HR people. Always goes down very well. Some do's and don'ts before, during, and after your presentation. Let me quickly share with you how you can harness digital platforms. One lesson that I have today is practice polls, and before you use it, practice it multiple times. I have done it, and yet today I hesitated. Please dress well. This is very important. Most people go to a Zoom meeting or a WebEx meeting with only the upper half properly dressed. So why does it matter? Number one, if you have to get up for any reason whatsoever, it's really, it's terrible. I mean, what kind of an impression are we creating of ourselves and our organization? So I'm looking very nice up on top, and then underneath is all, maybe I'm in a pajama or God knows what. You see, I always say that if you're going to an interview or a presentation, please make sure that your shoes are polished. And one of the participants asked me, says, why does it matter? Are people going to see your shoes? I said, no, they aren't, but you are. So what you wear and whether your shoes are polished or not matters to you and your confidence. Please dress well. Invest in a good internet connection. We need the power of that today. Use large fonts. This is very important in a Zoom meeting because people are seeing it only on the computer screen. So you want to make it easy for people to read what you have written down. Duration maximum 90 minutes, and that too if you use audience involvement techniques. Because for example, here I'm talking to you, but I'm not really seeing you. And I have asked you to switch off your video to conserve bandwidth. If possible, stand and speak. And we have a lockdown here in Bangalore where I am just now. And I'm unable to get hold of a proper height table so that I can stand and speak. Why? Because everything improves. Your body language improves and your breathing improves because you're standing up. Some thoughts on that. Way to go, right? This is the way to go to a Zoom meeting. You agree? Not the way to go to a Zoom meeting. The audience's prayer, God, give us a presenter. Please do not give us a slide reader, because we also can read. So if you're only going to read the slides, why not send the deck via email? to your participants. What is the value you are adding? Don't put everything on the slides. We will conclude on Sunday the program itself for next week with an action plan and with your development as a presenter. And I will tell you that the critical thing which I learned in the 70s is persistence. How many times did we fall before we first learned to walk? Multiple times. And the same will happen with presentations. If you are self-critical at the end of every presentation, you will find that there is something that you could have done better. And be self-critical as well as encourage people to give you feedback and give them an Abhay Vardhan that you will not argue with them and you will not get upset with them, because that is the way that you will learn. So persistence and positive sensitivity to feedback are critical parts of the action plan of becoming a better presenter. I will conclude here and make room for question and answer, and want it to be a very interactive session. We, all of us at the Academy of Human Excellence, wish you the confidence and self-esteem that presenting can bring to you. May you always have maximum impact with your presentations, and we are ready for question and answer.
So now I do request, thank you, Parimal, for that quick review on what you plan to do in the program. I would ask the participants, when they want to talk, to please unmute themselves and then again mute themselves once they're done, so that there is no disturbance for everybody else. Can I start with a couple of the questions that I have received? In case anybody else wishes to start, I'll give you 1 minute, and if no one begins, then I will begin with the questions that we received during registration. Any questions?
Just a quick announcement. I have placed a number of links. The link to the training program, to the enrollment, as well as links to WhatsApp groups for learners, lifelong learners, for trainers, as well as for learning and development managers are in the chat box. Please maximize them. You can select everything in the chat box and paste it into Microsoft Word and then use what you like later. Back to Kshama.
Right. So there is a chat that let's do sessions on Indian app instead of foreign app. Okay, that is very possible.
Agreed.
We do now have that possibility thanks to GeoMeet. We should explore for sure. Okay, so I'm going to ask some of the questions that have come during the registration. Do audience prefer information, factual presentations, or would they be engaged with a visually appealing PPT? Would like to know the impact of presentation without visuals.
Well, what you see, seeing is believing. And therefore, what you see has a far greater impact than what you only hear. So you want to be seen and you want to be heard. Very important. What was the first part of the question, Kshama?
Would they prefer factual or would they be engaged in a visually appealing presentation?
Why am I being asked to make this choice? Why not both? Factually, in a visually appealing way. Absolutely.
It can be presented in a visually appealing way.
Yes.
Definitely
and delivered emotionally. People don't get emotional enough. They present figures and there is a loss and they are not upset about the loss. Come on, guys, take a stand. You are the speaker. What's the difference between seeing something on a computer screen and hearing it from you? It's your passion, it's your emotion. So be factual, be rational, but also be emotional. That's what people will remember. Kshama?
And I think in this particular case, if we listen to the some of the impactful speeches of the world leaders, we will notice that they say they present a lot of facts very, very well emotionally, right? So that's what makes their presentation so impactful. Which factors do you consider prominent while training a heterogeneous group of audience?
Engagement. Unless you engage your audience, and we have to find most of the training is now taking place on digital platforms, and we want to we are investigating ways and means of making things more and more and more interactive. That is a limitation of digital platforms, but give us a couple of months and we will be coming up with games and case studies and quizzes and so on, all using a digital platform. Breakout rooms is already available on Zoom. So that is one of the great advantages. I'm still exploring it. But the great challenge for trainers is how to facilitate using a digital platform.
So there is a question here that says that by digital platform, without having eye contact, direct eye-to-eye contact with participants, how can we connect with the participant? Could you give an example, please?
See, the thing is this, initially, I found it very disconcerting. You know, when you've been a face-to-face trainer for 44 years, and then in the 45th year, face-to-face goes out of the equation. What happens? I resisted like mad. And I still miss face-to-face training. But what is the reality? If I want to do any training at all, it will have to be done on digital platforms, which means I better get to be good at it. So one is, let me adopt and adapt and be ahead of that change as much as I can. This is number one. Number two, when I initially started off, it was very frustrating to speak to a screen. No longer. I mean, emotionally, we are all connected, aren't we? At some level, we are all connected. Exploit that connection, see that connection. We'll have to do that. So, yes, for example, I can see, Manjula Singh, but I'm just seeing her name. I see Sridhan Poddar, I see Jaipreet, Tanya, Imanshu, Sneha. But I'm only seeing their names. But I know that I'm speaking to them. And they're listening to me. It is in that sense, it's not two-way, but it's one way, but it is one way to some 55 people. And that's wonderful. So this is something where we will have to psychologically tune ourselves. Kshama?
The next question is, how is PowerPoint format different when presenting on online platforms versus when presenting in physical presence with listeners?
For me, no different. I have always believed in minimum words, and the standard according to me is this: 10 words in the body of the slide, maximum, 3 words in the title, maximum. Okay, these are guidelines. These are rules of thumb. Somewhere it may become 4 or it may become 12. Sometimes you need to show everything on the first slide, like the very first slide of the program. I cringed. So much data on it, but it had to be projected all in one slide because that was the one opportunity. Now, every slide must have a picture. And I don't see any reason to deviate whether it's on Zoom or it's on it's face-to-face. people look at things and say, people look at my slide decks and say, but there are 200 slides. For example, today we went through 60 slides in the space of 50 minutes. But it's not the number of slides, it's the number of points. I only make 1 point per slide. So together, Kshama and I made some 60 points. Earlier on, slides were very expensive. They used to cost, the old overhead projector slides. Some of the old timers will remember, used to cost some 50 rupees a slide. Then it came down to 30, then it came down to 10, then it came down to 5 because they started getting made in India. Garware used to make them. And because they were expensive, people tried to crowd the maximum that they could into one slide. Today, it doesn't cost you anything extra to make one more slide. Kshama?
So you've answered this question. For a slide, what is the ideal content? Content-wise, how many words and how many rows?
1 point, 1 picture, maximum 3 words in the title, maximum 10 words in the body. That's it.
More slides don't cost money, like Parimal said. So keep the number of slides doesn't matter as long as you keep the content very, very focused.
Just also think this one thing, which is if you put 5 points on a slide, you are talking about the first one. Somebody in the audience is reading the third one. Someone else in the audience is reading the 5th one. So if I have only 1 point, I'm talking about it and that's what they're reading.
What are the major points to be remembered to make maximum impact?
Like the audience caught on so wonderfully, it's your confidence. And what builds up your confidence? Well, remember your objective. What did you get up to do? Does it inspire you? Does it excite you? What are you trying to do with the audience? So one is that gives you confidence. Second, your preparation. Any stage fright you feel because you did not prepare well is fully deserved because you're not respecting your audience's time. You're 20, 30, 100, 500 people sitting there and you're not prepared. Shame on you. You have to prepare. And you have to give it your very best. So preparation gives you confidence. Your motive, your objective gives you confidence. You have great slides. You put everything into it. I can put my hand on my heart and say, these are the best slides I could have made today. That gives you confidence. And doing it again and again and again. You may not do as well sometimes. That's okay. And why am I a decent presenter? It's because I have gotten up so many times and presented. I see my friend Girish Shah here. He was there at my first presentation where I made a fool of myself. He was there.
What is the best duration for a presentation to keep the audience interested?
Well, as far as online presentations are concerned, like I said, max 1.5 hours. But keep the audience engaged with great slides, put in video, put in songs, put in audio. All that is the power of PowerPoint. You learn in the program how to do it. Not unnecessarily always relevant to the point. And use the polling feature, use the chat feature. It'll all be very helpful.
I have on the chat box a question. What factors do you have to predominantly change when giving a digital presentation in comparison to giving a face-to-face presentation?
One is, of course, your psychological preparation, as I said earlier, because it's a little disconcerting to speak to your own computer screen and to speak to your own face. It's a little disconcerting, but you can get used to it, like I've gotten used to it. So One is that. The second is change nothing else. The principles are the same. They don't change.
Right. So the same person is asking, do actual slides of a presentation have to be have more value when giving a digital presentation as opposed to a personal presentation?
No. There is really no difference as far as the value of the slides is concerned. No. Slides are a very, very powerful medium. Very powerful medium because you can show people. You can engage the right brain. And I can quote Einstein just now. I barely think in words. But you have a picture of Einstein there. I think it makes a difference.
I have one question, sir. You said your preparation gives you perfection, but when I practice beforehand, I feel this isn't going right. And that's something that makes me nervous. What if I don't get it right during the show?
Okay, we are going to talk about this in much greater detail when we come into the program, but let me answer your question here and now. Preparation does not mean memorization. Preparation, the word I use for preparation is familiarization. So my preparation is not built over a script. My words are not selected. And so when I speak, it is coming out extempore. But I'm fully prepared. It takes more preparation to be extempore. Kshama?
Right. There is a question, using animation to sequentially present your points of the content. Would that work?
Yes, animation would work, video would work. I'm in favor of it.
You
Yes.
had some animation today in the polling slides.
Yes,
and
yes,
it
I
just
did.
makes it very interesting. But
Yes.
also to sequentially present your points in the content.
I don't know what sequential and animation have to do with each other because I am not able to understand that too well. Maybe you can elaborate in the chat box. But being animated is also important. Some people are so dead when they present. I mean, how can you engage your audience if you are looking dead?
Yeah. How can we have a striking presentation? Because as a format, isn't PPT become more predictable? I think in terms of striking presentation, I think what their meaning is has it become too boring or has it become too run of the mill? I suppose that's what the question means.
It's like a song, like a symphony, or take a Shankar Jaikishan song with heavy orchestration. So you are doing a lot of things. The thoughts in your mind, and how you put it down on in what kind of words you put it down, in the pictures that you select. Sometimes it takes me half an hour to find the right picture for the thought, which it is trying to portray.
Somebody saying, yeah. So somebody here is saying some people get annoyed with GIF or animation. They like simple PowerPoint presentations. What is your take on this?
If it's irrelevant, anybody will get annoyed. If it's relevant, why should anybody get annoyed? Doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
sometimes what happens in organizations is that they come up with these rules which are very which mess up your creativity. I mean, there's a reason why, because then people do all kinds of things. But I think some 40%, like organizations have templates, and the templates are boring, horrible. And every presentation, I see red when an organization says, this is my template, and the template is bad. I mean, if it's a great creative template, agreed. I was doing a training program for a credit rating company. They had such a terrible template. And they were insisting that my presentations should also be on that template. I said, bhai, mere se nahi hoga, maaf karo.
Yeah, so branding templates for organizations are good, but you can always add animated content to it.
Of course, if it is relevant, see, relevant and appropriate, these are two critical words. And you're running this, as I was saying earlier, you're running this entire symphony. So everything is playing a role and we have to manage it all.
Right. So Nidhi Gupta is saying, I also read somewhere.
Hi, Nidhi. Good to have you.
GIF and clip arts while making PowerPoint. Is that right?
Now, what is right? Sorry.
Not to use GIFs and clip arts while making PowerPoint presentation.
Absolutely not. Please use relevant clip art. Please use relevant GIFs.
Okay. Someone says, I'm a tutor at a US CMA management accounting course where sessions are as long as 3 hours. And there's a lot of content to be covered. How does one make such long sessions interesting?
Give a bio break every 1 hour at least. Please give a bio break. This is number one. And ask people to get up, walk about, come back and sit down. Let it be only 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be long. Okay. So this is number one, because that change of scenery and that movement of the muscles of the body is very important. So please give that. They want a glass of water. They want to make themselves a cup of tea or heat up a cup of tea and have it. If you're doing it repeatedly, tell them to have a cup of coffee ready. 5 minutes is enough time to shoot it in the microwave and have it. I mean, you want a refreshed audience. Somebody wants to eat while they're listening to you, let them. Because that movement of the jaws stimulates thinking.
I also think that,
But that's only part of the answer. Okay. There is more to that answer, but I want to get to other questions also. Yeah.
Right. So also for factual, and I think that is what the question meant, for factual, very information or training content, which is very technical, you will have to use non-verbal techniques to keep the presentation engaging, because it is very boring to just sit through a technical training, especially in an online medium, like a Zoom call or something. You will lose people's attention very quickly. So,
Kshama, but why is it boring?
It should not be.
Fundamental question that I want to ask the audience. Why should it be boring? Are you not in love with your subject? See, that is where the problem starts. If you yourself find it boring, where do you think your audience is going to go? I was doing my chemical engineering and we had this professor, God bless him. I mean, he's no longer around, but he taught a subject called crystallography. Not the most interesting of subjects, but he raised it to the levels of poetry. Every one of us wanted to become a crystallographer. Your love of the subject, just like your confidence, is critical. What is my objective? My objective is to get people to fall in love with this subject that I'm teaching. That's what I'm looking for. Right, Suma?
Yeah, that's perfect, Parimal. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Happy to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Connecting is a challenge in a face-to-face session, and now we have to do it digitally. Is that a greater challenge?
What is a challenge?
So I think what she's asking is that as it is, it's difficult to connect in a face-to-face presentation, and now we have to do it online. Is there a greater challenge?
Take it as a prestige issue. Okay. How can they not be connected with you? How dare they not be connected with you? Do everything in the world to get them connected. Ask them questions. insist that they respond. Um, I mean, there are there are so many things. The time here is short, but there are so many things that you can do to get people engaged. And this is really the domain of trainer training. How to involve people.
The thing also is that involvement comes from your own involvement. Like Parimal said earlier, if you are not involved and if you are very technical and you are just very very boring and look uninterested and look like you need to get a task done, that is when you will irritate people uh, uh, and find it boring yourself. Next question is, Mr. Sarup Chaudhary meant that sequential means, going point, making your point in a sequential order.
Yes, critical because the brain thinks logically. And obviously, while we talk about being, an emotional connect, but the presentation has to be logical. Therefore, yes, there is the beginning, there is the conclusion, there is the so-called sandwich formula, beginning, conclusion, and body. So what is in between? But then what is in between has to be sequenced. And that depends on the kind of presentation you're trying to make. So if you are delivering bad news, for example, please build up to it. And that means that you are using the pyramid formula. Okay, but if you are making a presentation which is informative and you are concerned that you might be interrupted, many a times a decision maker is very impatient. Well, then use the inverted pyramid, like the newspaper, where you lead with the most important points and build down. So even if you are stopped somewhere in between, you don't have a problem because your most important points are in. So for example, if you see newspaper headlines, even if you read only the headline, 35,000 people recovered in the last 1 week. Now you don't read anything else. You still got what they wanted to tell you. Now you're interested in the details, where, when, where, how, why, read on. So build down. Okay, build down if it's an informative presentation, build up if it's a persuasive presentation.
One last question. There are many, but yes. I think you are
we are running short of time.
Stay within time. Yes.
Yes.
So it says what is the correct way to deal with disturbing elements?
In a 45-year career as a trainer, I have run into 2 people whom I disliked as participants, not as people, but as participants. So if you are not sensitive, if you give not okay kind of messages to your participants, I know something you don't, you may not say it, but it goes across. You will have participants who react to it. So if you come out of complete respect, if people realize that you are serious, people will take training as seriously as you as a trainer take it. Or you as a presenter, present it. They'll take your presentation as seriously as you take it. And there is somebody who has their... okay. Yes. So that's my answer.
Yeah. I would also add to it that in case there is anybody who's being constantly asking an irritating question or something, you can tell them that it can be taken offline, that it can be taken at another time, very respectfully, so that you're not aggravating the person. And if someone is really just being of nuisance value, then you might want to still just very firmly once say that it would be nice if we could carry on with the core subject of the presentation and take all other matters at some other time. And then that sort of gives the hint to the person that and also then others start supporting you in case the person is being nuisanceable. But it's like Parimal said, it's the very rare case.
Kshama, I was doing a program for a very well-known mortgage company. And for one of the batches, I was told that in this batch, you have all the troublemakers. And that the last session that we had them attending, it was a 2-day program. Post lunch, the trainer went back. Okay, there is somebody who's got their audio on. Can you please, Mudigonda is the name here. So anyway, I was told that there are 2 people who, there were 4 people who are mischief mongers. I said, fine, whatever it is, because see, trainers are needed for people that require the training. People that don't require training, who are either knowledgeable or very well behaved. Why is a trainer needed? We did a 4-day program, no problem. They were just energetic, knowledgeable people who wanted to speak. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care if I speak or somebody else speaks, so long as the objective is being fulfilled. I don't want a monopoly on all the speaking. I want to listen too, because when I listen, I learn. So no problems with these guys. They are like my lifelong friends. And they would argue with each other. So all I had to do as a trainer was to throw a ball at one of them. What do you think? And the other always gave the contrary point. They love me, I love them. They're not mischief mongers at all. We have to think, I mean, if somebody asks a question and we take it on the ego, a question is a gift. I love questions, which means who asks a question? Somebody who's thought about what you are saying will ask a question. That's what I want. Kshama? And once again, in the chat, I've put 3 links to different groups, WhatsApp groups, which we are going to start for our participants, that is those who want to be lifelong learners. If you don't like what's happening, though I don't see any reason why you won't like what's happening, you can always leave, no problem. I won't take it personally. There's one for L&D managers and there is one for trainers or would-be trainers. You're most welcome to join. We also have a transcript link for those who want to pay the fees and join the full-fledged training program. So that's some of the things that I wanted to say. You can just select all and copy and paste all this into a Word file and use it. Okay. So, Kshama?
I have pasted the links on the chat box. For registration, you can just scroll up the chat bar and you should be able to find the links. Just copy paste them, anyone who wishes to. Otherwise, in the email through which you registered for this program also has those links. That's all I have to say. Would you like to do a closure, Parimal, or any other questions?
There are people who don't make presentations. In my years of training people to present or to speak in public, I have seen that apart from getting up in front of a group and talking, it is the finest confidence builder. You could climb mountains, that will build confidence. Or you can climb mountains in a conference room. So I have seen that in front of a group, I'm something plus. It gets the best out of me. And that is what I wish for you. And I hope to see you on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the program dates. I promise you, you will love the program, and there are so many very practical things which I have learned over a period of time, which I will be sharing with you. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation and coming to this preview. I'm delighted to have all of you here from Mexico and Brazil, and I have so many people in here. Can't thank you all individually, but I'm grateful to you that you are here. All the best. Have a wonderful Sunday.
Thank you so much, Parimal. Thank you for this knowledge share. And we look forward to interacting with all of you again. Keep checking out, and you'll see other programs that we are trying to do from here. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you, Kshama, for the wonderful moderation.
Thank you. Pleasure, Parimal.
Yeah. So,
Thank you so much, sir. Bye-bye.
you're most welcome. You're most welcome. You can all...
you can
in
unmute
fact,
and speak to
you can
Parimal.
unmute, you can switch on the video. If you want to talk to me, you're more than welcome. I'm here for a few minutes. So you can switch on the video so I can see you.
Just a
Good
question,
to see you, Archana.
Parimal.
Yes, go ahead. All yours.
Yeah, actually, I am a theater practitioner, and overnight I had to become a presentable kind of a thing. You know, presentations were there because we
Right.
had to switch on to everything is on the online platform. So do you think it will help me? I am just trying to seek it out from the coming workshop
Well,
that you...
You are one of the people that I'm referring to as people that we polish. You're already a gem. You already
Thank you
have
so much.
confidence. And
you know, I don't want to be a nuisance. Okay, I have been doing theater, and now that I have to do this, so I want to do it nicely too.
yes,
If I
yes.
have to present things, so that is why I want to have your help.
See, what happens is that a person who learns swimming start looking for a pool.
Exactly.
So people who learn to present look for a group to present to.
That is there, yes.
So those opportunities will come your way. There are so many Rotary clubs who are dying for speakers. I mean, just imagine a theater personality presenting. I mean, it's a deadly combination.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'll be
Great.
joining. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Great to have you here.
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you, Parimal ji. This is Ayappan.
Hi, how are you, Ayappanji? I was
Yeah,
very happy
Namaskar
to
ji.
see your
How are-
registration.
Right. Thank you. And thanks a lot, Kshama Bhatia also. Nice, madam.
Nice
Okay.
seeing you again, Mr. Ayappan.
Yes, thank you, madam.
You
Take
know, I
care.
love your smile. So
Yes. All of us
It's
love your
great.
smile.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Who is this?
Sir, Vineet Pandey.
Hi, Vinitji. How are you?
Fine, thank you, sir. How are you, sir?
Very well. Very well.
Sir, this is
You're
our
finding
second
people
meeting.
jobs.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. It's a very
Yeah.
kalyankari work that you are doing.
Yeah. So, sir, this is our second meeting.
Yes.
And I am really impressed you, and I get registered for your program.
Thank you very much. I will be happy to
So,
have you there.
Definitely I will meet you on 26th again.
Thank you. I
Yes.
look forward to it. I look
Yes,
forward to
sir.
it. You know,
sir.
the one place in India, the one major city where I had not conducted training is Ludhiana.
Ludhiana. Okay.
Otherwise, every other major city I've conducted training, and now I'm reaching you guys online.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, really.
Sir, we are
Delighted to have
also really thankful to you.
And I'm sorry I have not been able to read the input that you sent to me. I will do it.
Okay. No
Yeah,
problem.
Yeah,
Sir.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hi, Parimal. This is Nitin.
Hi, Nitin. Hi, Nitin. How are you doing?
Very good. Very good.
This
So
is
I'm
one of those rare sessions where father and son are both in the program.
I'm having great issues switching over to digital as well. So you taught me how to make presentations and public speaking in real life. Now you have to Now you have to help me transition online.
Yes, yes. It's a switch, really. You see, it's very simply, what other choice do I have,
Right.
right? So and it has so many advantages. And can you imagine in a physical presentation reaching somebody in Brazil and Mexico and Singapore?
Correct. Correct.
So it has phenomenal reach. Let's
Correct.
look at the advantages and exploit them.
Sure. I'm looking forward for the class. Parimal.
Yes, yes,
Looking forward
yes.
to learn,
Me too.
relearn and start again online.
Yes, 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 yes. So delighted to have you here, Nitin.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Looking forward, Parimal.
Yes. Anyone else, folks?
Good afternoon, Mr. Parimal Gandhi. Sudesh Sharma here.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir? Very nice program, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted.
And this is
when
just
a,
the trailer.
When a seasoned HR manager gives a compliment.
Actually, my name is such that Kshama ma'am thought that I am a she, not he.
No, actually, no, I was looking at another message. I noticed it afterwards that it was.
It's all right. It's all right. My name, I have seen many females having this name actually in my life.
Okay.
Right.
That
I didn't
question,
realize that, but I was scrolling up and down quickly, and so I didn't know whose question it was.
Kshama, I was conducting a training program for Wellspun in Kutch. And that is where, and that must have been, I don't know how many years ago, at least 10 years ago.
Right.
It was
Mr. Ajay Devraj introduced you in Wellspun.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, it was a wonderful training program. My first visit to Kutch, although it's in my own state. And that's where I ran into Sudesh, and we've kept up with each other. So
it has been a great relationship, very learning and developing for me personally. You always inspire and motivate, sir.
Thank you,
Always
Sudesh.
inspire.
So
God
kind of
bless
you
you.
to say that.
Yeah, God bless you. That was my question. Actually, we'll take it in detail when we attend your program.
Sure.
Face to face में connect करना, it's a challenge.
Yeah.
I came across a title and read that book, John Maxwell. Everyone communicates, few connect.
Yes, true.
I read that book. So one-to-one is a challenge, and now there is this online challenge.
Correct.
I shared with you in one of our telephonic conversation also.
Absolutely.
I'm conducting online training just like you. It is very new to me.
Right.
But you have given a lot of inputs and insights today, which are useful.
I see that pad with a lot of notes. I'm very happy. You're a very sincere student, Sudesh.
I always take notes, sir.
Delighted.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely delighted. So You're most welcome, Sudesh. Anytime.
There is one more way to take notes now. And that will keep them permanent and to be cut and paste. Is that you can go on to a Google document while the Zoom session is on, and you can do your notes and the typing as well. That is, if you're doing it, if you can type fast, you can do that.
That's the challenge, ma'am. Actually, I write faster than I type.
Yeah. So
thank you so much for your input.
Most welcome, Sudesh. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And who's next?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I am Udigunda from Visakhapatnam, sir.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Fine, sir. I am a ISTD live member. This is the second session I am having with you.
Oh, really?
I have already posted in chat box. Are you conducting Triple T, sir?
I will. In due course. My thing is, again, I have to come out of this face-to-face business. So even for this particular program, I I then said, okay, the personal coaching can take place later. But
very beautiful presentation, sir. I'm working as a general manager HR.
I see.
I'm very much interested in the training and development or train the trainer program, sir.
I see. Which organization are you with?
I'm in power sector, sir, in Visakhapatnam.
Power sector.
Yes, sir.
The name of the
Distribution
company?
Eastern Power Distribution, APEPDCL.
I see. Something like our MGVCL, Madhya Gujarat Vidyut
It's a
Corporation
subsidiary of
Limited.
AP Transco, sir.
Right. And are you a transmission
Gen-
company or a distribution company?
Distribution company. I'm a
Distribution.
general manager HR, sir.
I see.
Lovely
Right.
words, sir. You are uttering the words very, very sweet, and it will touch the hearts of the students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Please, if possible, nominate people to the program coming
Definitely,
up on Friday. And of
Alike.
course,
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you there.
Mr.
Definitely,
Mundiganda, you can also separately talk to Mr. Parimal on a Zoom call. You can take it all your
Definitely.
discussions with him. Yeah?
I put
Definitely.
my number there. So my number is in the chat.
I will also.
I already gone into your website, sir. I will definitely go into it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Namaste, sir.
Yeah. Namaste to you. Namaste. Yes. Anyone else? I am the host, so I have to leave last. So you can talk to me. I'm here. And I still see that there are 30 people here. Apart from Kshama and me, there are 28 other people. Anyone like to say anything, ask anything, comment? You're most welcome.
I think people are waiting for you to leave, actually. They don't want to leave before you leave. That's the magic.
Great. Sudesh, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yes. Out of sheer respect and love for you, we
Yes.
want you to leave. Then we will only leave.
Oh,
And I'm the host, so out of sheer respect and love for you guys, I don't want to be a bad host. This is,
Lucknow wali baat na ho jaye.
Pehle aap. True,
Yes,
true.
So,
Anyway,
I think you and ma'am should leave, and then we will leave. Thank you so much.
So
all right.
we
I
can
will end the
officially
meeting in
close
that
the-
case, and
Yes.
have a great lunch, you guys. That I'm sure it's waiting for you. And be safe and be happy always, of course, goes without saying. And have a wonderful rest of the Sunday. Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you
Thanks
so much.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, everyone, for all your comments on the chat box as well.
Thank
I'm
you, sir.
reading everything, and I'll
Thank you.
transcribe it to Parimal. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon.
Bye.